Just because you're pregnant, you think you can slack off on housework? You can't even cook. I'll divorce you. Get out. Hearing those heartless words from my husband, I apologized repeatedly. Seeing me like that, he just kept berating me for being incompetent. Am I really saying something so unreasonable? I thought pregnant women deserved more sympathy, but maybe I'm wrong. Confused, I was approached by Jake, who said, "Mom, it's okay. Everything will be okay." His words helped me regain my senses. There's a new life inside me, yet I'm being treated like this. Is the person who earns money that great? Is the husband in a superior position? Can't the couple have an equal relationship? Am I really so incompetent that I can't even cook? Even if that's true, what kind of person is he, not even being grateful for what he gets? I've reached my limit. I'm not incompetent. I'm not a useless wife. I'll make him regret calling me incompetent. My name is Carrie, a 36-year-old stay-at-home mom. I married Zach, whom I have been dating since my student days, after getting pregnant with our child. It was a shotgun marriage, but our son Jake has always been adorable. 16 years later, he has grown into a cheerful and gentle young man. And now I'm carrying a new life inside me. I never thought I'd get pregnant at 36, but Jake seemed happy about having a sibling. Are you a boy or a girl? Don't worry, I'll protect you as your big brother, so come on out soon. Watching Jake say this with his hand on my belly, I was determined to give birth to a healthy baby. But no matter how hard I tried, Zach wouldn't cooperate. Congratulations! When the doctor told me that I was pregnant, I told Zach the news right away. I believed that he would be just as happy as he was when we had Jake. But how he reacted was quite different from what I had expected. You're pregnant at that age? You can have the baby, but make sure you do the housework, he said as he wouldn't help at all. But there's a baby. Can't you help a little? You're so annoying. A wife's job is to do housework. Don't abandon your job. I'm trying my best too. Ignoring my confusion, he became absorbed in the TV again. Since then, Zach really didn't help with any housework. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and housework is my job, so I should do it perfectly. The words I was reminded of daily made me dizzy. Still, I persevered. I will definitely have a healthy baby, I thought to myself. Hey, you didn't really put any thought into tonight's dinner, did you? Zach said one evening after dinner. I didn't remember cutting corners, and as always, I had prepared the main dish, soup, and 3 side dishes. I made everything from scratch for Zach, who wouldn't allow me to use frozen food. I wondered if something was wrong and tilted my head as he continued. Don't use pregnancy as an excuse. Keep making meals as you have been. Normally, making something as awful as tonight's meal wouldn't be allowed. Was it that bad? Did I mess up the seasoning? I did taste it carefully, and Jake said it was delicious. Yeah, but your cooking is always bad, but tonight's was worse than usual. I was shocked by his words. I had always been trying my best to plan menus and cook without cutting corners, but had he been eating my meals while thinking they were bad all this time? I'm sorry. I'll be more careful next time. As I apologized, Zach snorted. I know you're incompetent, so you don't have to try so hard. But as a stay-at-home mom, shouldn't you at least do the housework perfectly? Don't you forget that I'm the one providing for you. It's like he can say anything he wants. Sure, Zach is the one providing for me, and maybe it's only natural that I should serve him in return. But it's cruel to talk to me like that when I'm trying my best too. I can't say anything back, so I just take it. Maybe because he felt better after saying whatever he wanted, he just started relaxing without bringing the dishes to the sink. If he wants it done perfectly, it would be nice if he could at least help a little. Without being able to voice my dissatisfaction, I continued to clean up after him. Hey, there's dust here. And hair. It's your hair, so clean it up properly. You're really incompetent. Not only cooking, but also cleaning. I get nagged like this. I never slacked off and always tried my best. But Zach throws these heartless words at me as if ignoring my efforts. I feel like I'm reaching my limit, but for my sake, Jake's, and the baby inside me, I have to stay healthy. To do that, I have to hang in there. Mom, are you okay? Take it easy today. One day, due to my pregnancy, I became sick. I felt too weak to even get up, only able to lie down, and when suddenly nausea hit, I struggled to sit up. My son spoke to the baby kindly. Try to be nice to our mom, okay? He said while touching my belly. Don't push yourself today. Dad will forgive us if we get some food from the convenience store for just one day. I'll go buy it so you rest. I couldn't help but depend on my kind son. My heart must have become that weak. As I thanked him through my tears, he told me not to worry and that he appreciated everything I did. I'm proud to be his mother, I thought. But Zach didn't forgive me. What is this? He yelled, throwing the convenience store food Jake had bought. An incompetent wife who can't even make a meal. Get out. You have no place in this house. I want a divorce. How can I live with someone so useless? I couldn't do anything but cry and look down because my body really was in so much pain. I couldn't possibly do housework in that state. I can't do this anymore. I can't live with them. I began preparing to leave the house just as Zach told me to. Jake, are you really not coming with me? I had planned to take him with me and return to my parents' home, but he said he had a plan and decided to stay in this house. To be honest, I don't know what he's thinking. I really want him to live with me. But it seems he wants Zach to have custody, and I might not be able to be his mother anymore. Jake, it's not too late. Let's leave together. I hugged my dear son and desperately plead with him. I couldn't bear to leave him alone in a house like this. But as if to calm me down, he held my hand and continued. I have a plan. A plan to punish Dad for always treating you however he wanted. Once it's over, I'll come back to you, so please wait. You'll have your son back. His gentle voice was the most comforting sound. Jake had thought of something I couldn't have, and he was determined to let Zach have custody for now, because he couldn't rest until he had carried out his plan. Then promise me, if it ever becomes unbearable, run away and come to me. I'll always be on your side. As I held his hand and looked straight at him, he smiled gently. I know. Don't worry. If it ever gets unbearable, I'll come running to you. After all, you're my mom. Jake smiled shyly. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's Jake, so it will be fine. With that conviction, I finished packing and left the house I had lived in for a long time. As I left with a lingering sadness, Jake smiled and waved goodbye. Since then, we've been in frequent contact, updating each other on what's happening in our lives. He assured me that everything was fine and that there were no hardships. You know, I told Dad I wanted to take up a hobby. I did some research to find a good one. I found a place that charged such a high monthly fee that it seemed like a scam, so I asked to join there. Dad was reluctant, but he agreed to pay for it. It seemed like Jake was actually enjoying this new lifestyle, taking advantage of Zach having custody by making various demands. He said he wanted to eat out every day instead of having home-cooked meals. He also told Zach that one dish wasn't enough for his growing body, so he wanted to eat more. He said he wanted to help clean the house, but he couldn't because of club activities. He said he never had enough pocket money and he couldn't even buy snacks with his friends. He wanted more allowance, specifically twice as much as before. When Zach hesitated, Jake would always tell him, "You're the breadwinner, so you'll surely be able to raise me better than my incompetent mom, right?" Thanks to Zach constantly belittling me, he couldn't refuse when put on the spot like that. I wonder how long Dad can keep this up. Well, even if he pays the tuition, I'm not actually going to attend those classes. Jake laughed heartily. It seemed he really hated his father and had been holding a grudge against him for his treatment of me. That's why he was grateful for this opportunity to exact revenge and plan to pay back all the accumulated resentment. Honestly, I thought he might be going a bit too far, but seeing him so lively made me feel it was okay. I listened to Jake's updates almost every day while I relaxed at my parents' house. It seemed they were running out of money. Apparently, Zach was struggling. And guess what? I found Dad's secret stash of money. He had quite a bit saved up, so I used it all. I can't wait to see his reaction when he finds out. It's going to be hilarious. Jake's thoroughness made me happy as well. He was a cheerful and kind child, but at the same time, he seemed to have a strong sense of justice. He didn't want me to keep being treated unfairly and was carrying out his revenge plan to the best of his abilities. Just don't push yourself too hard, okay? As I said this, I could almost feel his gentle smile on the other end of the phone. Don't worry, Mom. You have outdone yourself. How's the baby? It's a girl, right? She'll be cute for sure. He was looking forward to the birth of his soon-to-be little sister from the bottom of his heart. Don't worry, I'll definitely give birth to a healthy child. At my words, he laughs and says, "Go, Mom!" He's doing his best for me right now. That's why I have to do my part for him too. Since there's no money left, he had to start doing chores like cleaning and cooking. And I was really surprised. Dad really can't do anything around the house. That day, I heard a situation report from Jake. Apparently, due to Jake's selfishness, Jack realized the household finances wouldn't hold up and decided to do housework himself. When he tried cooking, he ended up with burnt food. Jake bravely tasted the food, which looked terrible to anyone, and spat out the food because of its horrible taste. Even when Zach cleaned the house, it was clear that there was dust left everywhere. I laughed so hard at Dad's face back then. When I said he was also incompetent, he got really angry with his face turning red. Even though he used to say the same thing to you, he yelled, "I'm doing my best." I know you were doing your best too, Mom. It seems that Jake's actions have taken their toll, and recently, Zach hadn't been coming home at all. But there shouldn't be any money left for staying at hotels. Jake's words made me nod in agreement. Maybe he's hiding something we don't know yet. If we find out, we could corner him again, but right now, I can't do anything. I'll do some research, Jake says reassuringly. Don't worry, I'll definitely come back to you, Mom. You just focus on my little sister. Such a kind and warm words. As I let out a sigh of relief, he speaks to me. When everything is over, everyone should be able to be happy. So don't worry. When I say thank you, he replies, "You're welcome." A warm exchange I never had with Zach. I'm sure Jake will do something. He's my reliable son. Everything will be fine. Feeling completely reassured by his words, I rested well that day. May my daughter, Jake's sister, be born healthy. In the end, it seems that Zach couldn't stand Jake's retaliation and gave up his parental rights. Jake, who was told to leave just like I was, apparently left the house in such a great mood that he felt like skipping out of the house. Since I had told him beforehand that I was at my parents' house, we were finally able to reunite there. His gentle expression hadn't changed since I last saw him. "Thank you, Jake." As I kissed his forehead, which is softer than anyone else's, he laughs with a ticklish expression. "It's okay, Mom. You've worked hard too. From now on, I'll do what I can to make him smile. I'll do what I can for him who got angry for my sake." Seeing my determined face, Jake smiles happily and contentedly. "I knew I could rely on you, Mom." "Of course, I'm your mother." He's strong and independent enough to stand on his own. But because I'm his mother, I've decided to be close to him until he feels he's ready to go. It seems that Jake's hunch was correct, and Zach's infidelity was easily uncovered with a little investigation. Jake quickly gathered evidence and showed it all to me. Messages exchanged with the woman he was cheating with, pictures of them with their arms around each other, and even footage of them entering what seemed to be her home. Armed with this evidence, our lawyer was able to secure a sizable amount of alimony, child support, and full custody of Jake for me. With this money, we should be able to live comfortably for a while. I have to think about Jake's future education expenses, so I've decided to use the money primarily for his benefit. "You should treat yourself to something nice once in a while," Jake says with a smile, but I can't afford to indulge myself. I was surprised that there was a woman who could cheat with a man like Zach, but I needed to investigate her identity to claim the alimony. To my surprise, she turned out to be the daughter of Zach's company's CEO. When we sent a letter of demand, the news spread quickly within the company, and Zach was fired. On top of that, Jake had already drained him of money, and now he had lost his income as well. Since we had already moved out of my parents' house and changed our contact information, he couldn't reach us, but I heard that he was desperately searching for us. I asked our lawyer to get a restraining order to keep him away. With no income, Zach couldn't even afford the mortgage on the house, so he was forced to sell it and return to his parents' house in tears. His family was quite strict and put him to work, since he wouldn't even pay them his living expenses. He was also working day and night to pay the alimony and child support and looking for a new job. I heard a rumor that he became depressed because he couldn't bear it all. Well, it's inevitable since he's incompetent. "Mom, I can hold her now." Not long after that, I safely gave birth to a baby girl. Jake was utterly smitten with her cuteness and would hold her every chance he got. She seemed to sense her brother's kindness and would grab Jake's finger with her tiny hand. Seeing him happily report these adorable gestures made me realize what happiness truly is. "Dinner's ready, you two." A year has passed since then, and I got remarried. My new husband, a friend from college days, pledged to support us wholeheartedly. He willingly takes on housework and childcare, and even when I rely on him completely, he smiles and tells me he's glad I depend on him. With him, Jake, and our new little life, I'm determined to live happily as a family of 4 from now on.